Hello and welcome back to the Nioh 2 guided walkthrough. In this episode we're going to be talking about the actions you can take on the world map that will increase your capabilities leading into the first mission. First thing I want to talk about is if we open the starting point here and go to the shrine option, this is going to be the same menu that you see within a level when you go to a shrine. That's the equivalent of a bonfire in this game. First things first, you'll see there's the level up option. This is where you can spend your Amrita, the equivalent of souls, in order to increase your attributes. A lot of people are going to have a question, what build should I go for in Nioh 2? The answer to that is usually going to be, your build doesn't matter. Well, I think the build does matter a little bit, but it's not what you might think as a normal souls build, right? There are thresholds for your pieces of gear in this game, and also for your guardian spirits, and they look like this. You see how there's two grayed out items in the attribute list of this spirit. This one right here, Divine Rise Drop Rate, it says I need to have a total of 14 points between Heart and Constitution. Right now I only have 13, so I can't use this skill. I don't actually care about that skill, so let's look at the other one. Lightning damage plus 20%, that's pretty good. If I find anything with lightning, that's a lot of free damage. For that, I'm gonna need between Courage and Magic 12 points, and I only have 10. So I'm thinking, I want that bonus. I want to put points in Courage and Magic until I have 12 between the two. And then after that, perhaps I consider putting a point in either Heart or Constitution. Why would I do that even though I don't care about this skill? Well, I know that future Guardian Spirits are going to have these same requirements, and I want to be able to spec into them immediately and not have points somewhere where they're not providing me any value. All right? So that's going to be the game plan for 99% of your first run through of Nioh 2. You're going to want to just put points and stats to meet requirements, right? For present and future gear. You want to be able to wear any piece of gear that you have currently. You want to be able to use any Guardian Spirit that you have currently, because that means that you're going to be able to have invested your points wisely so that future drops, you'll be able to wear them immediately and get all the bonuses right off the bat. Now, after that's done, and you have a choice between stats, right? Like I needed 2 more stats between Magic and Courage. That's where the decision making kind of comes in. And so I'm just going to briefly go over what all these stats do. Constitution, that gives you more HP. Heart gives you more ki. Courage gives you more ki recovery speed. Stamina gives you equipment load. Strength is just going to be and a weapon scaling stat plus an armor skill activating stat. Skill, same deal. Weapon scaling stat, armor skill activating stat. Dexterity, we're going to get into ninjutsu when we unlock one later, but this is going to increase the effectiveness, the duration, and the amount you can carry for your ninjutsu. Magic is going to do all those same things except for onmyo instead of ninjutsu. So my recommendation is, bearing in mind that you should prioritize getting your thresholds met, try to get somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 in every stat, because they're all good. Every single one of these stats is useful, and the earlier points provide you more benefit than the later points, right? So if I'm going from 5 Constitution to 6 Constitution, I'm getting more value from it than if I was going from 15 to 16, right? So you just want to bulk up your character, get all your attributes up, and then if you've met all your requirements and if you've got a minimum in all of these stats, then you can start focusing on like a weapon scaling stat, or my recommendation, going into dexterity and or magic. But that's going to happen later. All right. One other thing to do in the shrine, if you've purchased the DLC, which I recommend that you do, go ahead and check for boons. You're going to get a whole lot of free extra gear. It's just going to kickstart your playthrough. Not a huge deal if you don't have the DLC. It's not worth buying the DLC for this, although it is worth buying for the other stuff that it has. But a nice little kickstart. Another thing we want to do while we're here, go to the hidden tea house. This is going to let you join clans. What the clans do is provide you with really useful passive bonuses to your character. Let me demonstrate. This is going to be the one that I started the game with by default. I don't know if everyone starts in Uyasugi or not, but this one will give you a really useful skill here called Purification Protection. We're going to go into what purification means, but basically what this is going to do is from time to time you're going to get a bonus invisible 33% at like second health bar. So you're just going to get hit and it will visually appear as though you're not taking any damage. This is super useful. You're massively increasing your survivability. But there are loads of excellent clans in here, and if you don't, want to think about it, just pick one that has a lot of the, little person icons under members. That indicates how popular they are, and they're popular for a good reason. So just pick one of those that you think might suit your playstyle. You can switch at any time, and you will be able to power these up by donating to them later. You don't really have to worry about that too much. Just pick one. It gives you some free bonuses. Last thing we want to do is go into the dojo. This is going to be like a training mode. This is, I'm not the kind of player who really wants to spend any time in training mode, right? But if this is something that you think would be useful for you, this is a great resource. You can come here from any shrine inside of a level as well. If you picked up a new weapon, you just want to practice, or if you're having trouble with an enemy that is present in the training room, it's useful for that. But the reason we're here is because I wanted to demonstrate a couple of mechanics that this game has. So I'm going to spawn in a yokai here. So a couple of attributes about yokai, right? They have the red health bar. It's pretty obvious. They have the purple key bar. All right. And then they spawned this little puddle on the ground. You see that? So first thing we're going to cover is when yokai have ki, when that purple bar has any ki in it, you can't hit stun them usually. There are exceptions, but for the most part, you cannot hit stun these guys. You could hit them all day, no hit stun, right? You may be wondering, well, why did this guy get stunned? It's because they have another mechanic. Most yokai, they'll have a part on their body that is Amrita, right? It's going to be like gold and glowy. I don't know if you recall from when I spawned him in, but he has gold and glowy horns. And if you break the gold and glowy part of a yokai, it's going to stagger them one time. If I can. There we go. It'll stagger him. All right. And now you'll see his ki is depleted, and I can hit him freely until he regenerates the ki back. You'll also notice he has permanent ki damage on him. That's going to happen when you hit him, and it's going to increase substantially more when you do Guardian Spirit stuff. Right, so for now, all that means is when you do the burst counter that I did to him, he glowed red, and I feral dodged into him just like that. And when the feral dodge went through the attack that he did, I got the burst counter. I know this is a lot. Yeah, see? Lots of ki damage. And then I can hit stun him when the ki is empty until he spawns a puddle, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the puddles. When the yokai spawn puddles and stand in them, their ki will regenerate up to its maximum amount, right? You'll see his ki is not normally regenerating, it's just kind of stuck where it is. When he stands in a puddle, he'll regenerate that ki. All right. Those puddles, if you do a ki pulse inside of them, it will purify them. And that's where the purification comes from the clan. So every time I purify inside of his puddle, I'm getting an invisible 33% health bar. Pretty useful. I'll see if I can demonstrate that. Yep, here we go. So I'm going to purify, and I'm going to get hit. I took basically no damage there. Let's see if I can demonstrate how much I would normally have taken. I mean, I guess you can just math it out. Yeah, see? Way more. So yeah, that's how yokai work in this game. There are exceptions, right? There's some yokai where you can just attack on them, you can just mash on them, and they'll get hit stun regardless. This is one such example right here, a skeleton warrior. You can just mash on this guy and it'll hit stun him. So yeah, just always experiment, but that's how they work. Now we're going to talk about humans. How do humans differ from yokai? Well, they work a little bit more like your character does. They have a green keybar instead of a purple keybar. And as they attack, they will expend their ki, and then when they're not attacking, they will regenerate ki, as you can see. When you attack them, you can see when I hit him, I'm doing ki damage. If he blocks, depending on what you hit him with, he'll take ki damage as well. When he has run out of ki, his ki bar turns red. And if you hit him while his ki bar is red, he gets stunned until it fully regenerates. While he's stunned, you can hit him with what they call a grapple. It's basically, like your typical crit hit in a Souls game. And just one last little detail. When they are out of breath, if you hit them once, they go to the ground. While they're on the ground, you can do a grounded grapple. And then one last thing. If you hit them a second time, probably should have gotten the skill to do more key damage, make this a little faster. Well, you know what? I'm just going to tell you what happens. So, as you saw, you knock him out, he's winded, he's standing there, you can grapple. You can hit him one time, he falls to the ground, and you can do a grounded finisher. If you hit him one more time while he's on the ground, it restands him immediately. It's like a combo reset in a fighting game if you're familiar. So hit him once, he falls over. Hit him one more time, he stands up. Why does that matter? Well, when you grapple an enemy, it does a lot of damage, it's really good, but they get their ki back like instantly, right? Like, I don't know if you noticed, when I grappled him, his ki bar just whoop all the way up. Same thing with the grounded finisher. You hit him with the grounded finisher, ki bar whoop all the way up. But if you just hit them on the ground, you do less damage, but they just stand right back up and their ki is it's low, right? They only have as much ki as they regenerated in the time you were hitting him. So if you did something fast like 1, 2, 3, he's back up standing and then he's blocking you or he's getting hit with basically no ki. You can do something where you're looping the enemy constantly, where they just stand up, they have no ki, they get hit, they get winded, you knock them down, they get back up, no ki, forever. They call those zero ki combos. It's not too important to know right now because you personally are going to struggle with your ki to be able to keep that up, but it's just something to keep in mind. So that's the key dynamics of how yokai and humans work in this game. With that understanding, there's only one other thing I wanted to show you in this episode, and that's going to be the decisions you make on the node itself for the mission you're about to join. So right now we only have one option. It's the Village of the Cursed Blossoms. That's level 1. A couple of pieces of information here. We have the Kodamas right there. You see the little teacups. We want to find every Kodama in the level. One, because it's fun. It's fun exploring and finding hidden collectibles. 2, there's an achievement for getting all of them in the game. I don't know if you care about the achievements, but this game's achievements are fun to go for. They encourage you to just play the game normally, and I think that's fun. And then more importantly, you get boosts to your character per region that are tied to how many Kodamas you found. So it's a good incentive to find all of them. Also, on page 2, if you hit R1 here and flip over to the next page here, you're going to see a list. Now, this one's pretty bare bones. We only have times cleared, which we don't care. Excuse me, we don't really care about. And we have Dark Realm instances dispelled, 0 out of 1. So this means in this level, we want to make sure that we're getting all 7 Kodamas, and there will be an alert that tells you got them all, so it makes it easier to keep track. And we also want to make sure that we dispel this single Dark Realm instance. Now, in this level in particular, you have to finish the level, so, you're not going to miss it. But it is possible to miss stuff like this at future levels. Now, there's going to be other things in this list later. You're just going to want to make sure you're on the lookout for everything on this list in the level, so that after you clear it, you don't have to come back later and get the other stuff. You can do that. It's not a big deal if you miss stuff, but it's in your best interest to get everything. And with that being said, that's it for this episode. And the next one, we're actually going to be hopping into this level, and things are going to be a lot more gameplay oriented from here on out, right? We've gone over all the nitty-gritty details that a typical beginner player would need to know to succeed in this game. So I'm looking forward to that one. I'll see you next time, and have a good one.